All right, so if you've been following me, you know I'm working on the Boss. Just dragging my feet on videos, as you can see by what I'm going to show you today, but with good reason. Just the time crunch on getting everything done. I just was flying through this car and I didn't want to stop, so here I am today showing you pretty much the Cielo as it's done, sitting beside me, pretty much to the point where I'm almost ready to paint it, which I'll show you some of the details on it. I have everything sitting in it that I wanted to test fit, which was my main goal, to try and get everything sitting in the car, test fit everything to the shell so I don't have to drill any more holes or trim anything, make any brackets or anything like that after it's painted. I want to get all that done before it goes to paint. And I have a different car out at paint right now, so I wanted this done before that got back from paint, because my main focus is going to be on putting that car together and getting that one done. So, which brings me here today to showing you the 70 Boss. So I'll jump right into it, show you all the pieces to it of what all I did. As you can see, it's pretty much an entire car now since the last video. I got a lot of fitting on my front end to do last in the sheet metal garage again. All my gaps are not set yet. You can see the hood sticking up. All that stuff will get adjusted once I pull the drive line, and wheels and tires, suspension all back off, so I don't have to blow sparks on anything. But I wanted to fit my entire front end with all those components in place. Just for example, I went ahead, they aren't on now, but I fit all of my trim pieces up front to make sure there wasn't any issues with anything going on up there. Moving around, I wanted to check hood clearance with the engine, which is a huge surprise for me, which I'll show you in a minute when I pop the hood, that I did not have to clearance really much of anything. I cut some of the skeleton on the bottom of the hood out for the intake to clear and for the radiator cap, and that's it. But everything fits under with the hood closed now, so that's awesome. Going down the side, one of the main body differences is the bottom of the rocker. There's no more pinch weld hanging down. I got rid of that, smoothed off the bottom of the rockers, so it's a clean finish when you're looking at it from the side. The other main big difference is drip rail channels are gone, so those are smoothed off. And I wanted to fit my channel to drill any holes that I needed to, fit my quarter window to make sure that I didn't have any issues, and for what I really needed to do here to finish this off, this is going to get painted body color up to the gasket. I got to fill these holes yet, and some holes back here in that corner to finish that off, which will get done whenever I move it back over into the metal shop. But my wheels and tires fit perfect. As far as the size of the wheels that I wanted to test with these wheels, 18 by 9 on the front, and they are an 18 by 10 on the back with a 295. I believe they're a 35 18, and to be honest, I could probably fit another 1.5 inch wider rim in there, just with the amount of space that I actually have, because I also rolled the quarters, which is hard to tell from this, but you can see how they're pinched pretty tight there. I rolled the quarter and it's mini tubbed, so there's plenty of space on both sides actually. Clearance holes for marker lights, the front and the back, to make sure that they're going to fit right. The back end, you can see I have, this is the Ring Brothers charge port, and I changed up my gas cap. I kept the look of the taillight panel, but this is just you push it in, twist it out, and it comes out, and then you just undo it. So it's kind of a neat trick piece that just goes in nice and flush then. And being a Boss, this taillight panel will be black, and that'll also get painted black, so everything will blend in back here, because the taillights, the housings are also black. The painted bumper, which is something that I need to trim up in the metal room, I'm going to tuck that in and get that nice and tight to the body. Just lots of little things that I got to do yet, but my main stuff is pretty much done. In the trunk, I just checked gas tank, mounted my battery, and ran my wiring down underneath the car actually to a battery on-off switch because I didn't want to put that in the taillight panel. Made sure all my doors latch and open the way that they should. And I found a good set of original seats so I could test fit everything because I wanted to be able to sit in the car with all my pedals in, steering, shifter, to make sure that sitting in it, it feels right and I'm not sitting in any kind of weird position. So I lowered the seat platforms to accommodate for the inch drop on the body. So I dropped the platforms an inch. So you're still sitting in it like normal. I'm 6'1" and I have plenty of clearance for this car, which if you know the Mustangs, they're pretty tight if you're tall anyway. But I have more clearance than I would if it was all done original. And I got a tilt column, Flaming River tilt column, to also help to give you some leg room, which was, I'm glad I did that. I have my pedals mounted so I can make sure that there's nothing sketchy going on there. Gas pedal, which is now electronic for the Coyote, which I use the Mustangs to Fear pedal support bracket, which is mounted in there, which was really nice from Mustangs to Fear. I mounted my key down low because it's not in the column anymore for 70. And man, there's lots of stuff. Sorry if I'm just going on and on, but I'm just trying to cover as much of this stuff as I can since it's been a while. Flip this forward. I did mount my rear seat, my back panels, the fiberglass panels. I already fit all those in before because I had to accommodate all that stuff for that inch drop also. So I actually shortened the rear seat bottom a little bit to help with that adjustment. Because in that portion you won't notice it when I tuck the upholstery to make out that difference, so it won't be noticeable in the end. But everything worked out to where it all fits in the back end. So I know all my interior is all good and there's not going to be any issues. I ran wiring because I wanted to cut holes wherever I needed to hide my wiring, which is ran underneath the fenders. So I'll take you up here, pop the hood, show you the engine bay. So everything's pretty much where it needs to be. Clearance, engine bay, whatever holes I needed to make, whatever holes I could eliminate, which there's still a couple. And the big obvious thing that you can see up here is I made these front apron pieces. I make cover panels for all the other years, so now I have a template because I made this one that I could make them on the 6970s also. And I went ahead and bead rolled the patterns into these because it flows with the bead rolls on those apron panels down there. So I made everything flow together. All my lines are straight with each other. And this one's just to cover up the radiator, which I notched clearance for the cap and for the overflow tube to go down through there. And also I wanted to cover up these sides because that's where my main wiring is going to be, which is hard to probably see in there, but my computer is mounted inside, poking through the apron. So all my connections for everything going to the computer are made underneath that cover, so it hides it, and then you'll only see the wiring coming to the engine down below there. So everything else is ran underneath the fender along the top rails, and my body harness is going underneath that rail out to my headlights and everything like that. So you won't really see much of anything else in the engine bay. And a lot of things will be cleaned up from here. This is just the test fit trial run. Hoses will be changed and things will be cleaner routed. So everything will get cleaned up. But surprisingly, the Boss 302 intake clears with minor trimming. You can see I cut out that center rib and I shaved off these front lines, which I need to finish that off. That's not how that will be. That'll be done smooth, and then there'll be a plate or something made there to cover that up. But that's all I needed to do to be able to make it clear. So I was really happy with that. heater motor, stock heater motor, actually clears the back of the valve cover. And I just ordered a compact Wilwood master cylinder that will clear on that side after my measurements. So everything engine bay is squared away, will fit. The only thing I didn't do is I do have aftermarket aluminum hood hinges. I don't have them on yet because I don't want to nick them up because they're black anodized. So that'll come later on. But the engine's mounted, cooling system, all that stuff's test fit in, transmission cross member, everything's in place, mounted where it will be. Really happy with how everything is turning out, up to date. So basically my next part is, now that I have all that stuff together, there's one or two small things that I want to do yet. I have to relocate the oil filter, so I want to drill holes wherever I'm going to mount that at. And then once I do that, I'm going to pull all that stuff back apart, just leave the main sheet metal body together, take it over into the other room, finish up all my gaps to make everything perfect. All my lines will be perfect. I'm going to spend extra time on getting these lines right. And then after that, it'll be ready to paint. So things have not been posted, but a lot has gone down, as you can see from the last video to now. There's a lot of work that happened, so I'm definitely tired, but happy with how everything's turned out. So if you're watching this, I appreciate you sticking around. There'll be more videos to come. Lots going on, so I'll post as regularly as possible. So I appreciate anyone that has watched or has been watching, or if you're new, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like it, share it. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.